Welcome back to Forgotten Genocides, the crucible where we forge truth from the ashes of oblivion's cruel forge. Today, we hurl ourselves into the inferno with what history books won't tell you about the Armenian Genocide, the primal scream of the 20th century's first mechanized slaughter, a voracious beast that devoured 1.5 million souls in a frenzy of fire and famine. Envision it, ancient clans, their laughter echoing through sun-baked bazaars, hands clasped in centuries of shared bread and prayer, shattered in an instant by hatred's jagged blade. Over the next 10 minutes, we'll claw through the veiled horrors, the mother's feral roars of defiance, the infant's silenced wails, the world's spineless gaze that fed the flames. Viewer discretion? This truth will rend your heart, its education carved from bone and blood. If your spirit howls for justice, subscribe now and rage with us. Let's storm the silence or be consumed by it. To pierce the lies textbooks peddle, we must burrow into the festering wound. Not the sanitized 1915-1923 timeline, but the eons of festering rot that birthed this monster. Armenians, those eternal guardians of faith in the Ottomans' crumbling cradle, branded cancer in the empire's fevered delirium. But oh, the intimate knives history dulls, neighbors, once trading figs and folklore by hearthfire, now venomous serpents hissing names to the shadows for a fistful of silver. By 1914, as World War I's thunder cracked the sky, young Turk vipers like Talat Pasha slithered through coded dispatches, plotting a Turkification purge. What they bury in footnotes? This wasn't frenzy. It was a symphony of sadism, deportation trains like iron serpents coiling through sun-scorched hells, herding the innocent to their doom, the air thick with the reek of fear sweat and shattered dreams. April 24th, 1915, the Red Sunday of Souls, when 250 Armenian beacons of intellect were dragged from their homes like vermin, the fuse to Armageddon. But peel back the veil, and the women's apocalypse roars forth. Not passive lambs, but lionesses baring teeth against the abyss. Mothers, veins bulging with maternal rage, stitched heirlooms of gold into rags, bartering their last breath for a daughter's fleeting mercy from leering jackals. Sisters forged unbreakable phalanxes across chasms of death, nails raking flesh from tormentors, their war cries a hurricane defying the scimitar's kiss. Aurora Mardiganian, that shattered phoenix, clawed her truth from the grave in memoirs of auctions where girls' bodies were bartered like chattel. Yet they spat in the faces of buyers, their defiance a blaze that scorched the executioners' souls. These weren't victims, they were volcanoes erupting against the chains, their gore a crimson testament to unbreakable will. The death caravans, 1.5 million souls in a grotesque parade to Syria's skeletal wastes, weren't footnotes of fate. They were a carnival of calculated carnage. Starvation gnawed flesh from bone, but the abyss hid the special organization's rabid packs. Convict wolves unleashed with bludgeons and blades, feasting on the frail. The gut wrench, the orphan holocaust, 200,000 babes rescued into oblivion, rechristened in Turkish molds, their identities flayed alive. Boys like Aram, feral ghosts scavenging in packs of strays, lapping puddles while mothers' corpses bloated in wells, their submerged shrieks a lullaby of loss. These stolen seeds, scarred by whips and whispers of erasure, bore the genocide's venom into veins, their silenced tongues a generation's muffled scream. How many innocents were vivisected in that cradle of cruelty? World complicity? Books finger the Turks, but the rot festers deeper in enablers' veins. Henry Morgenthau's frantic cables scorched Washington with extermination's machinery. Yet Wilson's war-weary fist clenched the truth in silence, debts outweighing decency. Germany, the Ottomans' iron fist, etched diaries of rivers clogged with cadavers, villages gassed in chlorine's choking embrace. Yet the Kaiser's court entombed the evidence to cradle their carnage. The unspeakable, American saints in the field, smuggling 5,000 waifs through hell's gates, branded meddlers for daring to cradle the dying. Their ink-stained pleas, rotting in vaults, howl of dynamited sanctuaries and poisoned springs, a blueprint for Birkenau's horrors. This was no solitary sin. It was humanity's collective flinch, a global gasp that fanned the flames higher. The zenith of this apocalypse? Deir ez-Zor's charnel pits, Beelzebub's forge in the furnace of fate, where 500,000 souls were smelted in sun's sadistic glare. Haganush, that iron-willed wraith, slurped her own despair to defy the grave. But the Nadir, the river baptisms of doom, thousands trust-like sacrifices hurled into Kabur's maw, their death throes bubbling a symphony of suffocation. Priests, defiant in the dust, anointed the gasping with forbidden waters. Mothers etched crucifixes on babes' souls like maps to stolen stars. This fiend didn't merely slay, it sought to incinerate a people's essence. Scrolls devoured by fire, spires pulverized to powder, tongues twisted into Turkish lies. From this pyre surged a diaspora of 10 million phoenixes, their hearts pounding a dirge of defiance against the denier's deceit. Feel it, the nation's viscera flayed, yet pulsing in exile's furious rhythm. We must howl their elegy or choke on the ashes ourselves. The Armenian cataclysm scar, 100 years of Turkish venom, strangling UN truths, but birthing a global inferno of awakening. April 24th, a pyre of remembrance in 30 nation souls. The concealed fire, diaspora's defiant rebirth. From Parisian shadows to Californian vines, grandchildren resurrecting the raised, their anthems a thunder against the void. It hammered the 1948 Genocide Pact, a battered bulwark against recurrence. Yet phantoms stalk today's tempests, bellowing, recall or relapse. Sources: Akçam's unearthed ledgers, Aurora's ravished Armenia, USHMM's shadowed vaults. If this tempest tore your core, if the Armenians' buried blaze scorches your veins like this video, unleash your fury in comments. Which veiled agony grips you fiercest? Share to shatter the shroud. Subscribe to Forgotten Genocides for more tempests like Rwanda's raging ghosts next. Thank you for storming this with us. In their blaze, we burn brighter and we conquer.